Now let's study about the next natural phenomenon, which is earthquake. Now what is an earthquake? An earthquake is a sudden shaking or trembling of the earth which lasts for a very short time. It is caused by a disturbance inside the earth's crust, and it's impossible to predict the occurrence of earthquake. The weather department, it can warn about the thunderstorm developing in some area, but we are not yet able to predict earthquake accurately. One example of earthquake is one which occurred in India on 8th October 2005 in Uri and Tangdar towns of North Kashmir. And it can cause a damage of human life as well as property in a huge scale. So now let's see some of the effects or damages caused by earthquakes. So what are the damages or effects of earthquake? Earthquakes can cause immense damages to buildings, bridges, dams, as well as people. It can also cause fires and can cause great loss to life as well as property. Earthquakes can cause floods, landslides, and even tsunami. One such example is the major tsunami which occurred in the Indian Ocean on 26 December 2004. Now what causes an earthquake? The disturbance inside the earth causes earthquake. Now earth consists of three layers. The outermost layer, which is the crust, the mantle, and the core. The core is again classified into inner core and outer core. Now the tremors or the movement or the shaking are caused by the disturbance inside the uppermost layer of the earth called as crust. The tremors are caused by the disturbance deep inside the crust. Now the outermost layer of the earth, that is the crust, is fragmented, and each fragment is called as a plate. Now these plates are in continual motion, that is, they are not stationary, they keep on moving, and when they brush past one another or a plate goes under another due to collision, they cause disturbance in the earth crust. That is, when one plate comes near another plate, they either collide with each other or they brush past each other, and because of this collision or brushing, it causes disturbance in the earth's crust, and it is this disturbance that shows up as an earthquake. These are the earth plates that can be observed in the whole world. So the tremors in the earth can also be caused when a volcano erupts or a meteor hits on the earth or an underground nuclear explosion is carried out. However, most earthquakes are caused by the movement of earth plates. Now, although we know what causes an earthquake, it is not yet possible to predict when and where the next earthquake might occur. Since earthquakes are caused by the movement of plates, the boundaries of the earth plates are the weak zones where earthquakes are most likely to occur. So these weak zones are also known as seismic zones or fault zones. So in India, Kashmir, Western and Central Himalayas, the whole of Northeast, Rann of Kutch, Rajasthan and the Indo-Gangetic Plain are prone to danger zone, and some areas of South India also fall inside the danger zone. So these areas where there is most likely to undergo earthquakes are called as seismic or fault zones. Now we studied that the earthquakes occur all the time, all over the earth. They are not even noticed. Major earthquakes are much less frequent. So how can we determine the strength of an earthquake, or how can we measure earthquake? The power of an earthquake is expressed in terms of magnitude on a scale called as the Richter scale. Destructive earthquakes have magnitudes higher than 7 on the Richter scale. For example, both the Bhuj and the Kashmir earthquakes, they had magnitudes greater than 7.5. Now this is the Richter scale. Now let's see how earthquakes are measured. The tremors, they produce waves on the surface of the earth called as seismic waves. Now the waves are recorded by an instrument called as seismograph. Now what is this instrument? This instrument is simply a vibrating rod which starts vibrating when the tremors occur. A pen is attached to the vibrating system, and the pen, it records the seismic waves on the paper which moves under it. So this is a seismograph and this is a seismometer. So by studying these waves, The scientists can construct a complete map of the earthquake and can estimate its power to cause destruction. So we know that the earthquakes cannot be predicted, and we also seen how destructive it could be. So what can we do? We can take necessary precautions to protect ourselves all the time, especially the people living in seismic zones. That is those areas where earthquakes are most likely to occur. They have to be specially prepared. So in highly seismic areas, what should we do is that the use of mud or timber is better than using heavy construction material. Keep the roof as light as possible. So in case the structure falls, the damages will not be heavy. It is better if the cupboards and shelves are fixed to the walls so that they do not fall easily. Be careful where you hang your wall clocks, photo frames, water heaters so that in the event of earthquake, they do not fall on people. Now all buildings, they should have a firefighting equipment because some buildings may catch fire due to earthquake. So it is necessary that all buildings, especially the tall buildings, they have a firefighting equipment in working order. Now in the event that an earthquake does strike, take the following steps to protect yourself. If you are at home, take shelter under a table and stay there. Stay away from tall and heavy objects that may fall on you. And if you are in bed, do not get up. Just protect your head with your pillow. Now if you're outdoors, find a clear spot away from buildings, trees and overhead power lines. You drop to the ground, and if you are in the car or a bus, do not come out. So that's all for chapter 15, some natural phenomenon.